Irrigation systems in India. Introduction. Irrigation is the artificial application of water to the soil, usually for assisting in growing crops. It is a vital input of agriculture production process and pivotal to agricultural, social and economic growth of nation. Civilizations have been dependent on development of irrigated agriculture to provide agrarian basis of a society, thereby enhancing the security of people. In crop production, irrigation is mainly used to replace missing rainfall in periods of drought, but also to protect plants against frost. Irrigation has two primary objectives: to supply essential moisture for plant growth, which includes transport of essential nutrients, to leach or dilute salts in soil. Besides, irrigation provides number of side benefits such as cooling the soil and atmosphere to create more favorable environment for crop growth. Irrigation supplements the supply of water received from precipitation and other types of atmospheric water and groundwater. Irrigation has acquired increasing importance in agriculture world over. India has the highest irrigated land in the world today. Irrigation also refers to the supplying of water to the dry land as a supplementation of rainwater, which is mainly aimed for cultivation. There are various types of systems of irrigation practices in different parts of India. Irrigation in India is carried on through wells, tanks, canals, perennial canals, multipurpose river valley projects, etc. In this episode, the following aspects are highlighted: history of irrigation development, types of irrigation systems in India, multipurpose river valley projects, benefits of irrigation practice, future possibilities of irrigation development. History of irrigation development. Historically, civilizations have been dependent on development of irrigated agriculture to provide agrarian basis of a society. Archaeological investigation has identified evidence of irrigation in Mesopotamia and Egypt as far back as the 6th millennium BCE, where barley was grown in areas where the natural rainfall was insufficient to support such a crop. The Indus Valley civilization in North India and Pakistan also had an early canal irrigation system from 2600 BCE. Large-scale agriculture was practiced and an extensive network of canals was used for the purpose of irrigation. Sophisticated irrigation and storage systems, including the reservoirs built at Girnar in 3000 BCE, are evidence of ancient irrigation system. Irrigation development in India. Ministry of Water Resources briefly explains the history of irrigation development in India, which can be traced back to prehistoric times. Vedas, ancient Indian writers and ancient Indian scriptures have made references to wells, canals, tanks and dams. These irrigation technologies were in the form of small and minor works which could be operated by small households to irrigate small patches of land. In the south, perennial irrigation may have begun with construction of the Grand Anicut by the Cholas as early as 2nd century to provide irrigation from the Kaveri river. Irrigation during medieval India. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq is credited to be the first ruler who encouraged digging of canals. Firuz Tughlaq is considered to be the greatest canal builder. Irrigation is said to be one of the major reasons for the growth and expansion of the Vijayanagar Empire in southern India in the 15th century. Babur, in his memoirs called Baburnama, gave a vivid description of prevalent modes of irrigation practices in India at that time. The Gabar Bunds captured and stored annual runoff from surrounding mountains to be made available to areas under cultivation. Irrigation development under British rule. Close to 19th century, according to sources of irrigation, canals irrigated 45%, wells 35%, tanks 15% and other sources 5%. Famines of 1897 to 98 and 1899 to 1900 necessitated British to appoint first Irrigation Commission in 1901, especially to report on irrigation as a means of protection against famine in India. Irrigation development at time of independence. At time of independence, net irrigated area of India under British rule, which include Bangladesh and Pakistan, was 22.2 million hectares. After partition, net irrigated area in India and Pakistan being 19.4 million hectares and 8.8 million hectares respectively.